Hello everybody, welcome to Percussion Axiom TV. I am your host, Tom Burritt, and this is episode number 96. We continue with part 4 in our series on experimenting with the programming process. That was the first 2/3 or so, maybe half, of Michael Burritt's Fermo. We'll get back to that in a minute. If you followed our series, parts 1, 2, and 3, talked about the first part of the set of 6 pieces, or 6 or 7, I haven't even counted yet, that I'll be playing for the second time actually, just in a few days. As you can see, I'm not in my home office. I am away in Victoria, Texas, and I want to thank my wonderful hosts, you know who you are, for putting me up in this amazing place. I love Victoria. They're so incredibly committed to the arts. I have a concert at noon at the Golden Gecko, this great little place downtown Victoria. It's part of the Victoria Bach Festival. I hope to see many of you there. Today I wanted to continue on with our series with part 4. I want to talk about just a few things as we get deeper into the set of pieces. You noticed at the beginning of the video that I was doing a mallet change. Part of the difficulty, since this piece's flow from one to the next, is getting the right implements in my hand. And I've come up with a few little tricks, most of which I haven't come up by myself. You notice I put a pair of mallets face down and the mallet bag down here. We'll get to that in the next part or the part after that, on what happens to those. And then switching here on the fly. So I've done this in a few other pieces in the past. So that's just one of the many sort of difficulties and challenges to come up with when dealing with trying to string together 30 minutes worth of marimba music. So that's the mallet change you saw at the beginning there. Fermo is a piece that I've had several students do. You know, I'm a big fan of Michael Burritt's music. My dad, well, my cousin, I guess. Just so there's no confusion there. Fermo fits the bill perfectly for where we are in the grand scheme, this emotional arc. You know, we start very dark, sort of sad. This piece sort of grapples and goes both ways. It's like this constant struggle between, I hear 3 things in this. Sort of a sense of this theme here, which is somehow sad, but also wanting and yearning to go forward, getting out of this sort of deep, dark place. And then the second theme here, which is this thing, sort of the second theme, sort of is a very serene, sort of almost a good memory or a fond memory of the way things were, or something that we've lost. And I love those two, the dichotomy of those two thoughts. And then we get into the third mood, which is this thing here at the top. All this stuff. And then all of that stuff is also sort of reminiscent. It's reminiscent of something we've lost. And I just really sort of cling to those 3 areas. So this piece really gets us into the more emotional parts of this as we come out of this deep, dark place until we get into this more joyful, as we deal with all these issues, more joyful place. So that's Michael Burritt's Fermo. It fits perfectly, and we describe a little bit of each of those moods. You know, I think one of the things that's interesting about this, and I've mentioned this probably in the previous episode, is that I'm probably going to play this very differently in this context as opposed to just playing the piece by itself. Probably. Just the idea of what this piece sort of brings to the grand scheme of things. Okay, so that's today's episode. I'm going to try my best, maybe July 11th through the 13th, somewhere in that window, to try to stream a live performance using Google Plus Hangouts. Then it sort of goes to your YouTube channel. I haven't had a chance to really mess with that. If I can solve the many technical issues, I will try to do that right before I head off to the Stevens seminar on the 15th, and the 14th actually. So look for that. Stay tuned for that. Okay, I would always love your guys' thoughts. You guys have left some great comments so far, so please keep those coming. That's it for today's show. Hope this gives you a little bit of more deeper understanding. I hope you watched this before the fact. And if so, I can't wait to sort of put the whole thing together for you. And for those of you who aren't able to get to the concert, that's why I'm going to try to do that live stream. So even if you can't make it live, you can at least watch it later. So we'll see if I can make that happen. I'll do my best. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you next time.